digital natives, they can help us more readily see how we can adapt our information so they can engage with it through technology. Curriculum development also needs to embrace creativity. When you get a group of professionals together and you begin brainstorming and mind mapping and you include a new voice, it generates a spark in the room. People get excited and one comment will generate an idea in another person, and you know how that process grows and develops. So that creativity is very much a part of the curriculum development process. And again, that youth voice, those digital immigrants are at the table as a contributing partner in that creativity. The team approach to youth development also provides validity to the work of youth development. You know, we often say in 4-H, you know, a lot of people's philosophy is that they think that anybody can work with kids. So you don't need any expertise or any experience because everybody works with kids, but we know that that is not true. So when we involve our subject matter experts, whether they be content or whether they be experts in positive youth development, our experiential learning methods, that gives credibility to our work. We make sure that the process is developmentally appropriate, it's experiential, hands-on, it's engaging for young people. And as always, it has validity with youth because youth are engaged in the development process. The team approach to curriculum development also builds bridges between researchers and practitioners. Lots of times on campus we get accused of living in our ivory tower, and so as we begin to work together as a team, we can take the research of the university, use it in our curriculum development, and apply it in a way that is practical, helpful, and useful for our young people and for our volunteers. The great thing about the bridge building in your department now, as a newly merged department, that teamwork will also build collegiality within the department too. So we really began to work together and have shared work and shared learning throughout the department. The team approach also supports our land grant mission. In 4-H, we often talk about that our program is research-based and our projects are research-based, but that's not always true. And so we need to make sure that as we are involved in outreach to our young people and our volunteers, that we remain connected with our researchers, so that we are bringing the information of the university to our local communities, to our young people. Also, our youth development and specialists and agents have the responsibility for making sure that the curriculum is engaging for the youth, as it fits into that research model. A problem that we frequently run into with our 4-H programming is people come up with these really great ideas for learning activities that engage the kids have fun, they're excited, they're very much part of the process, but there's no they're not working towards a long-term goal. It's kind of out there someplace, but it's not clearly identified. Also, it may not align with our program goals and initiatives, and it doesn't necessarily lead us to where we want to go. So those great learning activities have to be packaged in a way that they're moving us towards learning outcomes, and we're helping us create program objectives. It's all part of our mission. And a team approach to curriculum development also utilizes the talents and abilities of the team members, whether that's the subject matter experts, the agents that are in the local communities, the youth development specialists, but also the youth. That's very important that they are part of those curriculum development teams. One of the first things that I believe that needs to happen with any curriculum development process is to develop a curriculum committee. They have a very important role in the curriculum development process. If I am selected as the successful candidate for this position, the first thing that I would make as my priority is to listen. To listen to what people are saying the needs are, where are our strengths, where are their gaps, what are the needs of our youth, what are the needs for the volunteers, what are the needs for the agents, and that work around listening and having a needs assessment would really become the work of that curriculum committee. The next step would be to review. What do we already have? What's out of date? Does it appeal to young people? Does it meet the needs of diverse youth? Or does it only reach some youth? Where are the gaps? That review will be very important before we take any steps in terms of pulling together a program. The next is to prioritize. We can't do it all at once. So what is our most urgent and pressing need? Then we would develop those midterm and long-term goals. Again, this prioritization would be informed by multiple voices, multiple perspectives from the specialists, from the agents, but also from our youth and our volunteers. The other thing is we don't have to develop all the curriculum that we may need. There are other states that are developing curriculum, and so we may prioritize finding some other states' materials that we can adopt, and then we can focus on developing curriculum for our specific and unique needs in Tennessee. One of the ones that I want to share with you, if I can navigate Justin's computer successfully, Utah 4-H has developed some fantastic online project manuals that they call their 4-H Discover clubs. These are all available for free for download from their website. And while they have some traditional 4-H club projects, for example, like the Beef Club and Clover Buds, they also have some that are really unique. For example, here's the Spy Science Club. There's one down here on a Python code club down in this corner here, which I have to confess I would have to defer to my experts in STEM to tell me what the Python code is, but there is a 4-H project in that area. There's also one in Scratch, which I'm more familiar with in STEM. So these are wonderful projects that are available, and they're free, and they could be used by any 4-H member, and we can make these available for download from our state website. There's also one on the 4-H Art of Math, which I find intriguing to think about 4-H teaching math. Sorry that kicked me out of my Prezi when I switched over. The other thing that the curriculum committee would be responsible for is helping us identify curriculum development teams. They know the people who are good writers. They know the skills and ability and talents of the staff. They may have some perspective on the time commitment that's involved in developing curriculum, so they would be responsible for helping us to identify those curriculum development teams. The second part of my presentation that Justin asked for me to prepare for you all today is how I would enhance the teaching, extension, and research components of the Department of Agricultural Leadership, Education, and Communication. And so I want to share those with you. One of my major program responsibilities for the last 5 years has been working with episodic volunteers and how we can engage them effectively in our 4-H program. And we have done that through our 4-H Spin Club program, and SPIN standing for Special Interest. These are high-quality youth development programs where young people come together to learn about a topic of interest from a volunteer expert who has knowledge, skills, talents, abilities in the subject matter area, and they are willing to share that with young people for a specific period of time. The 4-H members that belong to SPIN clubs are full 4-H members with all the rights and responsibilities of any other 4-H member. And all of the volunteers that we have in our SPIN Club programs are screened, and we give them specific training for their volunteer roles, so they go through the same process as other volunteers. The only thing with our SPIN clubs, there is so much to learn about being a 4-H volunteer that we've carefully distilled down to what are the essential elements that they need in order to fulfill their role. And we've developed training around that specific information, which I'm going to share with you a little bit later in our presentation. But those volunteers share their passions, their knowledge, their talents with young people. And they do that for a specific period of time. So the clubs have a beginning and an ending date. Say, for example, they may meet one Saturday a week or